Let's go.
Hi, I'm Harold Bell for the Legends of Inside Sports, and this is a Detox special report with executive producer Dion Jenkins. What's up, D?
What's up, good brother? Let's go.
Man,
Let's
man, there's
go.
a lot of history made in Washington, D.C. yesterday. The wrong kind of history, D.
Yeah, man, it was a crazy night, man. The mayor put a curfew out for 6 p.m. and the streets was flooded. I mean, the Proud Boys, Trump supporters. It was crazy, man. I mean, how was it on your side of town? You see any folks floating
Man,
over there?
let me tell you something. I was in the right side of town, nowhere near that stuff, man. Wasn't going to. But you know what I can't understand, D? Why was there so many people surprised about what happened? Well, how were they taken by surprise, D?
I mean, I guess you have people out there who believe that the election was rigged and Trump should win, and I guess they believe that the support is going to get him to move forward into his presidency that he should have won. And when people in denial, man, it's crazy. And then the level of behavior of the people who just
Right?
showed up. I mean, somebody's in Nancy Pelosi's office. You got people hanging from the ceiling. I mean, they got guns drawn on people. It just shocked me, man. And I was just uh, kind of annoyed this morning, man. And I was just thinking, like, if that was a whole bunch of black folks at the Black Lives Matter movement, it would have been a massacre. It would have been like one of the worst massacres
I'm
on Washington.
telling you. I'm
I mean, they
telling you,
say that it
man.
was a bad, you know, one of the bad parts of history now because people showed up at the Capitol and they did this and they did that. I was like, I mean, they might have violated the Capitol and trespass and all that good stuff, but I mean, it wasn't as bad as it would if it was us as black folks out there.
It's been a whole different story. There's no doubt about that, man. But you know, the thing that blows me away, how can we be surprised because we knew they were coming. And we knew that Trump had already built up this hate. And plus, he had them really thinking that that, that the election was stolen from him, man. So they were
Yeah.
coming here packing their guns, man. There's no doubt about that. So we should have been prepared. Everybody that I knew, I said, stay from downtown. Do not go into Washington unless you have to, because there's going to be problems, man.
But
These
you
people.
remember last time they showed up. I think the Proud Boys might have showed up their first march. They had a bad turnout. They didn't really show up in numbers.
Right, that's right, that's
So I
right.
guess they were thinking, oh, they talk a big game, but they might not show up.
hmm Well, they surprised them. I tell you, they really did. And one thing that I did like, they locked up the leader, and I found out the leader's not even white, man. He's Hispanic or black or something. And I said, what? He's the leader?
I know, man. It's so funny. I walked into Target. I was driving past the Capitol. I was heading to go pick up my son, and
Uh-huh.
we was heading out to Target. And I'm running to Target, and I see like these three Asian women. They got like Trump uniforms on, the hat.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, y'all, like he don't fool with y'all. Like, why are y'all supporting Trump? I don't get it. Like, what's up with
Uh-huh.
that? But I guess people are they want to show their patriotism towards America. So if they're an immigrant, then they jump on board with the Trump campaign because I guess that makes them feel patriotic or some type of being closer to being American.
Yeah.
So I don't think it gets you any closer. I think it moves you farther away. I think psychologically you might believe that these people feel like you're connected to them, but at the same time, I don't think it's a gain on that part. You know what I mean?
Well, you know one thing, man. Trump has told so many lies, and he has talked about Asians, black, you name them. He has talked about these folks that we're talking about that we found supporting them. Somebody told me, he said, Harold, I looked out there and I saw about three or four blacks running around. I said, yeah, it shouldn't have been that many. But, that is how it goes. But now for Trump to show up with all of these people, man, and he's inciting them to ride. He's telling them, follow me down this road. We're gonna take this road to the Capitol. He jumps in his limousine and goes in the opposite direction. He goes in the opposite direction, goes back and hides out, man.
Yeah.
Nobody sees him again. We have not heard from him since, D. He sent his White House press secretary out and, condemned the protesters, man. This is not the American way. All this BS, man. And she hurried up and ran from that press room, but they were hollering and screaming at her, everything. And Trump
Yeah.
is nowhere to be found.
Yeah, I heard his wife. She stepped down as chief of staff. She resigned from her position. She's like, yo, enough is enough. You lost, bro. So I'm out of here, man. I love you, but peace. You gotta
That
give
was
it
his
up.
wife. That was his wife's chief of staff.
Huh?
His wife's chief of staff.
Yeah,
She's
his
the
wife.
one.
She resigned. His wife resigned.
Uh-uh.
Yeah,
It was. Is that right? I
yeah.
thought it was his wife's chief of staff, who she had named her chief of staff.
Well,
That's what I
one
thought.
of them chief of staffs. Oh yeah, it must be his wife.
Yeah, his wife's chief of staff. That's right.
Okay.
That's who resigned. In fact, man, look, the rats are jumping ship, man. They're getting out of there, man. And of course, now I don't know if you heard lately, but Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi are calling for his ouster, man. They want him out of there, and they're absolutely right because there's hey man, no telling what this guy may do, man. No telling what kind of frame of mind. We know he acts kind of stupid anyway. But
Right.
man,
They
he got
said that.
13 more days, man. That's too long to have that guy in charge.
Yeah, I know. They saying that they're trying to use the 25th Amendment to get him removed. So, um, I don't know, man. It's all politics. I mean, he's got a lot of people by the balls because people still on payroll to some point. So there's where he still has that alliance of people who support him because of he's still president.
Yeah. But the thing is, think about this, man. And this is a damn shame for uh, Lindsey Graham last night. He got someone, enough is enough. Enough is enough. And here's the same damn fool who gave $500,000 to his defense fund. You understand?
Right.
And now all of a sudden he's down here. Oh, you'll see, he performed last night, man. Enough is enough. And here
Right.
he is one of the main leaders. And this guy, Cruz, what's his name? Cruz. What's his name? Cruz, the senator.
Yeah, Tom Cruise was it not Tom
Not
Cruise?
Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise. I get it. But anyway, man, it blows my mind how this guy could be in support of Trump when Trump said that his father was a part of the assassination of Kennedy,
Right.
And this guy still jumped on the bandwagon, man. So I'm trying to figure out what kind of allegiance do you have to someone like Trump. I'm going to tell you one thing that's going to happen. They're going to try to make an example of those folks that they got on camera. And look here, they're going to be arresting them in the middle of the night, finding them where their homes are to set an example. But they're going to have to set an example. Somebody lost their life. That one woman, man, got shot trying to enter the chamber, man. She got shot, man. And I understand she was a school teacher or something, man.
Now, did she get shot based off of her like retaliating against the police, or she had an object?
No,
I saw a video of her on the ground, like bleeding. I wasn't sure how it happened. I couldn't. They didn't show that part.
She was going through the chamber when they opened. The guys were back there with their guns, with their handguns.
Right.
When that door opened up, she was one of the first ones through there, and they shot her.
Yeah, I saw the people with their guns drawn out, man. It was.
They had the guns drawn out, man. Had the guns drawn out, man. I just think it's a sad time in American history. I am not surprised by it because there's embedded racism, man, in this country, and we've been forewarned. I mean, come on, D. We've been forewarned. I mean, you weren't even born, man, when the Kerner Commission went out after Lyndon Johnson had appointed them, and told these white boys to go out there and find out why there's so much unrest in the black community. This was during, the rise, 67, 68, when I was out in the streets. He said, I
Right.
want to find out what's going on. And all white boys went into the ghetto, D, and they came back with the report saying, look, the problem is racism. White racism is the problem. And we're headed for two different Americas, one black and one white. We were forewarned 52 years ago, and those of us who were in power, or mayor, black mayors, or the Congressional Black Caucus, we did absolutely nothing, D. We
Yeah.
sat on our hands, man.
Well, everybody's got special interests, so there's always going to be a level of hesitant on our part. Everybody's trying to protect their paper, and it's a capitalist society, man. And if you cross people the wrong way, or you show support to another group that other people don't support, then you get ostracized. And
Yeah, you ain't got to tell me, brother.
yeah,
You call the kettle black. You're
that's right.
absolutely right.
You got a fleet of guys, your champs and chumps, who who
Yeah.
definitely sell out for the black community, man. I mean, it's funny. I was watching a interview with Jim Brown talking. Forget what it was, man. He was talking about HBCUs and a whole bunch of other things. I was watching a documentary on HBCUs,
Mm-hmm.
and it was just interesting to get their perspective. And one of the topics was how Booker T. Washington was kind of somewhat labeled as a sellout because he wanted to make black colleges more industrialized, where they were actually taking up a trade, and instead of actually being professionals like doctors and lawyers. So there was some type of uh, consortium conference that he went through with a whole bunch of other people, and he stood up on a podium and kind of gave this speech. And they said they had white people crying and stuff, and he basically said, "Hey, let us get our education. We're not going to take, we're not going to, take away your jobs or affect your type of white privilege economy." When I say I mean like that, where all the whites got like the professional job, doctors, lawyers, we want to be
Mm-hmm.
tradesmen. We want to be tradesmen to actually help better the economy. We want to be those construction guys, those plumbers, those construction workers, and all that good stuff that'll help make you money and everything. So it was interesting to see that. And I don't know if you've ever heard that, because I know it's always been a conflict between W.E. Du Bois and Booker T. Washington.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you mentioned something in there about the black athlete and Jim Brown, man. Jim Brown is two faces to Jim Brown. One of the greatest athletes ever. Probably one of the greatest all-around athletes in America, man. We start talking about great all-around athletes, but Jim Brown is two faces to him because he talks out both sides of his mouth. Jim Brown, of course, is about capitalism. He's about a dollar bill. But the thing is, he would do anything to get a dollar bill. He would step on anyone, man. And I experienced that up close and personal, man. I mean, Jim and I hung out for years, man. I met Jim when I was in college down in Winston-Salem my freshman year. He came down there representing Coca-Cola. He spoke at our sports banquet. That was 1959, man. So
Mm.
I've been knowing Jim Brown a long time. I met him down there, and we hooked up when he started this black men's thing that trying to teach them how to put their money back into the community. But Jim, like I said, was talking out of both sides of his mouth because he became the poster boy for abuse against women, man. He was throwing women over balconies and stuff, man. He was getting caught on the golf course by his partner cheating. And because his partner caught him cheating, he beat his partner bloody. You know what I'm saying? The guy had to take him to court. And then my personal experience with him, I did a tribute and a fundraiser for Willie Wood, who played for the Green Bay Packers. He had dementia, and we had to move Willie from one nursing home to another, a better nursing home, and then we had to find out how to keep him there. So I helped do a tribute and fundraiser for Willie so we could raise money to keep him in the nursing home, and that was 2007, man, down on the waterfront in Georgetown that I did this tribute. I had Paul Horning there, Bart Starr, John Mackey, Charlie Taylor, Jim Brown, my man, the comedian, God, what's the boy's name? Dick Gregory. Man, well, I had them there, man. They came out. We must have raised about 60 grand. I don't really know because I was doing everything, and I had this Willie's lawyer supposed to been had my back, and he had his family on the door, collecting the money. I ain't paying attention to it because I had so much else going on.
Mm-hmm.
Well, by the time the thing was over, that Monday when we went to the nursing home to see Willie, the first thing Willie asked me, "Hey Harold, where's my money?" And everybody looked at me. I said, your lawyer got your money. Bob Smith got your money. His family was on the door, and I could see Willie's face just drop, man.
Mm-hmm.
So I went through some changes, man, trying to get this guy to tell us where Willie's money was, man. And he wouldn't respond to me. So I put one of my media people on, a white boy named Dick Heller, who was a fantastic individual. And he told Dick, well, I'm going to hold a press conference, and I'm going to tell you, I'll be able to straighten out where Willie's money is. Well, he never held the press conference, D. He never held it. So I called Jim Brown. I said, well, I know he's scared of Jim Brown, so let me call Jim and put Jim on it. So I called Jim. I said, Jim, look, Bob Smith, man, has taken Willie's money. I don't know how much, but I know it's well over 50 grand that we raised because man, them guys are writing some big checks to Willie, man. Davis, Willie Davis was there. Of course, Willie Davis was a.
Didn't they just recognize Willie Wood for something? Didn't they just recognize him for something recently?
No, not recently. Not recently. His name he died in February now. He died in February. I'm glad you brought that. You know how many Hall of Famers from the Green Bay Packers died last year? We lost 4 of them. All 4 of them were legends of inside sports. I'm talking about Paul Horning. I'm talking about Willie Wood. I'm talking about my man, the cornerback, Herb Adley. And it was one more. I think it was one. I can't even think of it. But we lost 4 Green Bay Packers last year. But getting back to Jim Brown, I called Jim Brown. I said, Jim, I need for you to call Bob Smith, man. We can't find Willie's money. So he said, okay. I said, hold it. I want Willie's sister, Gladys, on that call with you. So it'd be a checks and balance system. So, I knew about Jim's reputation, so I always kept him in front of me. So he said, okay. So now they called Bob Smith and get him on the phone. And 3 days go by, D. I don't hear nothing. I don't hear nothing from Jim Brown. I don't hear nothing from Gladys. I said, what's wrong with this picture? So I called Gladys. I said, Gladys, what happened on the call with Jim Brown and Bob Smith? She said, Harold, Jim Brown made me get off the call. I said, he did what? She said, yeah, he made me get off the call. So then I got to sit there. I got to call Jim. I got the call. So I called him. I said, Jim, what's happening, man? He said, everything's fine. I said, no, man, what happened to the call with Bob Smith? And you put Gladys off the call. Man, he called me all kinds of MFs. Oh, man, tell me what you doing. How are you questioning me? Yeah. Oh, man, call me all kinds of names. And we never found that money, D. We never found it. So evidently, him and Bob Smith made a deal.
Yeah, it'll come back, man.
Yeah. That's rough. We talk about, the black athlete and how we look up to him. And I mean, you got a young kid yourself.
Yeah,
his hero should be nobody but D. You understand?
Yeah.
He sees you looking across the dinner table at him. He sees you looking across the breakfast table. Our kids don't have anybody talking about these heroes, man. No. You got to take it to another level, man.
Well, it's good that the city is on lock, man, and she got this curfew. How long is this curfew for?
They don't know. She's playing it by ear. She's playing it by ear. She's hoping that these folks will be leaving town tomorrow. you know. But
Okay.
you got to be very careful, man. But I think, and this is what I think. I think that these folks, these Proud Boys, go back up and do the James Brown and get out of town. Because right now, a lot of them are on camera, D, and they're gonna get locked up because they're gonna be looking for them, D. So you might as well go home and make it difficult
Yeah.
for them to find you.
Yeah.
Those,
You don't
those,
want to get locked up here.
yeah, you don't want to get locked up here, buddy. No doubt about it. You
Yeah.
know,
My dad said that, man. It's good that they put a curfew in the city because when you think about it, it'll kind of it could lower the cases of people catching the coronavirus.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
no doubt.
Because you have people from other towns that are coming in uh, to our city that are distributing germs and shit. You know what I mean? And they go to these stores and buy stuff and interact with us, and because they ain't wearing masks. So you got all those people out there not wearing masks and chanting and breathing
Yeah,
on everybody. I'm like, nah. But yeah, man, it was just disturbing, man. This whole yesterday, and it just disgusts me because my kid's gonna grow up in this age where
that's right.
uh, he's this type of behavior is somewhat going to be acceptable. So like the older he gets, the uh, more blatant racism is towards you. As a kid, you get little hints of it. The kids aren't as they're not as hardcore as they are when they get about our age. So
Hmm.
yeah,
Yeah, how many people, man, do we have dead in the U.S. now? I think I heard you say beyond 360,000, man, that are
yeah,
dead.
man. It's about 300 some thousand people, man, that are dead so far, man, and about 21 million cases of the coronavirus. And I just think that it, it's it's going to keep going. It's going to keep spreading. I heard there's another strand over in the UK and overseas, and so but we got to take the vaccine. I mean, I know that we have issues from got trust issues from
Yeah, that's
previous presidential you know situations where each president kind of made us feel like like we were some guinea pigs. They give us syphilis and all these other diseases, and Tuskegee experiment and all that good. So we got to trust the process this time around,
we don't
and
have, we don't,
we got to
we
get
don't
the
have any
vaccine.
other choice, D. We don't have any other choice but to trust the process, man. For those of us who want to try to make it through this pandemic, man, I'm skeptical about taking it, but I'm seeing so many other influential people take it, and we are always the last to get it, D. So by the time it gets to me, at least, or to my wife, we should know whether it is any good or not.
I know, man, but I'm still a little scared, man. I saw that white chick had her face halfway stuck together, man. She was
Wow,
paralyzed. Yeah, from taking that coronavirus, her face was like paralyzed, and she was whatever it was, man. And I was like, man, I don't know if I could do that. That's
wow.
I still got another 45 years left on the planet with my face looking crazy like that. So
Yeah.
I got, but and then just you don't know how it might affect your organs too, because you're still putting the virus inside of your body.
That's right. That's
And
right.
but I think they're supposed to be releasing another testing. I think in about a month or two. They don't have enough people to actually administer the test to people, like the shots and the vaccines and all
Oh,
that stuff. So
wow.
that's the problem right now. Is really trying to find the help um, to get the vaccine to people.
Yeah.
You know.
I know it's we gotta gotta wrap this up, but I want to ask, we got so many things as a people that are going against the grain, man. It's like running against the wind if you're a black man or woman in America. We talking about we got the pandemic now. We got the Proud Boys. I mean, we got racism embedded, and we got these cops, man, who are still shooting us, man. They're shooting, and we're still ducking, D. I mean, just think, several days before Christmas in Ohio, where they shot 12-year-old Tamel Rice,
Yeah.
and they came up with the decision that that officer is not going to be tried. under no circumstance. He shot this kid, 12 years old, that had a water gun, a water pistol. Then on several days before Christmas, they shot down two black unarmed men in Cleveland, Ohio, man. One guy said they mistake having a Subway sandwich for a gun. The other was a guy coming out of the garage where he was staying, and he had his cell phone up because he knew the cops were out there, and they shot him dead. This is all happening in Cleveland, man, and nobody is paying the price. So you got a young man. You got to be skeptical. But I want to send this out because I found this. Somebody gave me this 50 years ago, D, and I want to dedicate this to you and your man. It's
Right.
titled it's titled My Man. A careful man I want to be. A little fellow follows me. I do not dare to go astray, for fear he go that self same way. I cannot once escape his eyes. Whatever he sees me do, he tries. He thinks that I'm good and fine, believes in every word of mine. The bad in me he must not see, this little man who follows me. I must remember as I go through summer sun and winter snow. I'm building for the years to be for that little man who follows me. That's to you, man. Thank you.
Man, appreciate it, man. Much love, man. Appreciate that.
Man.
Till next time.
Have a great day.
You
Remember, every black face you see is not your brother, and every white face is not your enemy. I'm gone.
Salute.